Another thing we found with Google Meet is when you do transition into other meetings, if you don't close the first one before you enter the next one, it can mess with your audio settings and you aren't getting the audio from the new meeting or anything like that. If that is a problem, again, these sessions are going to be recorded. Sorry for the keyboard. I haven't found a workaround yet that doesn't involve just straight up closing out of everything and then rejoining the session. No doubt it's something that Google will need to solve on their end as well. But yeah, if we're still having audio issues, like I mentioned, all these sessions will be recorded and posted, so you'll be able to catch up afterwards. But for the sake of time, since we only have about 15 minutes before we have to get back into the main meeting, I want to very quickly go through another tool that you can use for screen recording. So we talked about PowerPoint, and I flew through that very quickly because it is very simple to use. If you do have the Office 365 version and you're not super tech comfortable, that may be an option that you want to check out, at least just to start out. But like I mentioned, it's a bit of a bummer because it doesn't let you record your webcam. So if you are wanting to provide that teacher presence to be able to share yourself with your students, fabulous. Anita, can you hear me now? Hopefully, fingers crossed. Then it can be helpful. Yes, I love it. Okay, perfect. It can be helpful to have a tool that enables you to capture your webcam as well. Hopefully in future instances, PowerPoint will allow you to do that, but it is a relatively light program, so it may not. I'm not going to talk about these next couple of slides because we did touch on the flipped classroom in the main session, and I really want to give you guys a chance to touch on and explore some of these tools. But like Laura mentioned at the top of the session, you have all these slides that are available to you, so you can review these things. This might be one you want to check out as well. Is just a quick list of the positives and negatives that are associated with the idea of creating a flipped classroom as opposed to just doing, say, synchronous learning. But I'll leave that with you to check out on your own time if that's something you choose to delve into. So another tool that we've recently used a lot for screen recording that I really, really like is called Screencast-O-Matic. So this tool is a web-based tool. You do have to install a very small plugin to use it, but largely the interface is on the web. It's on a web page that you would use, and it's linked here in this slide. They do have a ton of different options, so it is not solely a free service, but they do have free accounts that you can use. And honestly, for 99% of users, I would say the free version is totally perfect and will suit your needs. So with a free account, you are able to record videos that are up to 15 minutes in length, which for us as K-6 educators is perfect because you probably don't want to be recording videos that are that long anyway. You're going to lose your kids and lose their attention span. So that's a perfect limit. Whereas tools like Screencastify, the free version only lets you do 5 minutes, which can sometimes be too limiting. So the 15 minutes for this one is great. And then they do have a cute little small background audio library that you can use if you do want to add some additional audio to your videos. So like I said, this one is a little bit tricky to get into exploring. But if this is one that you do want to try, I do recommend doing it. You do need to, like I said, download a small plugin and need to create an account. But just to show you how this works, I'm going to switch over very quickly just to show you what the interface looks like. So once you do create an account and you visit the web page, which the main page is just screencast-o-matic.com. Again, it is linked in those slides there. When you're all logged in, you can come to this page where it says My Videos and click on it there, and that will take you into your dashboard. So if you have created videos previously and you've saved them to Screencast-O-Matic, you will see all your videos here. There are a few different ways you can organize your videos, which can be nice. So there's this folders section on the side, which is primarily for your purposes, organizing things on the back end for you to keep yourself organized. And then if you did want to just send students to channels for videos, you can create channels, and these tend to be more outward facing. So if you, yeah, these are for a student organization versus your own. Most educators I find don't bother with this. They'll save the videos to their own computer and upload them wherever they need to go, whether that's Google Classroom, whether that's a Classroom YouTube account, entirely up to you. So when you are on this screen here, to get started, and once you've had the plugin downloaded, you just go up to where it says Launch Recorder up here. If you don't have the plugin downloaded, it would then prompt you to download it. I think even down at the bottom, eventually it gives you a message that says, click here to download if you don't have it. So once you've launched the recorder, it'll give you this little pop-up in your browser and you allow it to open the screen recorder. It takes a little bit of a second. Yeah, recorder will launch in a second. Okay. So my microphone probably shifted tone a little bit, and that's because it's now feeding into this program here. So basically what will happen here is it prevents you with this option, again, similar to PowerPoint. Log back out and back in a couple of times. And this will happen too if you are using Google Meet. Sometimes the audio just won't work. I'm assuming the rest of you can hear me though, as Kyle is the only one that I have seen an issue with. Yeah, okay. Again, sorry for the typing here. Ideally, in a context when you have a little bit more time, you can troubleshoot these issues with your students, but that is something that will come up because of whatever reason, older computers or what have you. But yeah, so when you open Screencast-O-Matic, you get prompted with, similar to PowerPoint, this frame on your screen. And as you can see, the recorder is going to record anything that happens in this frame. So again, you can adjust what's being recorded by dragging these handles. You can drag the very simple ones on the sides, or if you want to drag the corners, as you would do any sort of dragging select feature in anything, it will resize what you are recording. So once you're happy with the part that's going to be recorded on your screen, you can look down at this dialog at the bottom where it says you can record just the screen and no webcam. You can record just your webcam and no screen, or you have the option to do both. Typically, I will go with this option because as you can see in the bottom right here where your webcam is, you can also move this around. There are 3 little boxes on this. You can change these to determine the type of webcam you're using. So right now it's using the middle one, which is like a picture-in-picture situation where your webcam is in the bottom right of the screen, but you can also promptly put it full screen while you're recording, or you can make it go away while you're recording. So it can be useful to keep this on so you don't have to worry about bringing it up and bringing it back. You can just switch it while you're recording once you get comfortable. As we can see in the dialog, there's a max time of 15 minutes on free videos. The size will show you what you have selected. So that the size will depend on your monitor resolution, but it'll export appropriately no matter what. You can see this little bar here. It's showing my microphone volume. If you don't see any bars when you're speaking, that means your microphone may not be working. So you might need to plug it and unplug it. You might need to check in your Windows settings. And then in the free version, a downfall of this one is that Screencast-O-Matic does not record computer audio. So if you were wanting to show off a program for your students, it wouldn't record any of the audio coming from that program. So it might be best to send them a video that already is functioning that way. But for most people, that's going to be okay. So we can see other preferences here that you really don't need to pay attention to. But once you're happy with your settings, you can go ahead and click the record button. And similar to PowerPoint, it'll give you a countdown. And once the countdown is over, you are live and recording. So like you can do with PowerPoint, you could switch around and we could look at some other things. So we're back looking at the slideshow here. I could click around if I wanted to direct students to where in the slideshow a particular activity instructions were, or if I wanted to switch over to another website altogether. I could show them, maybe the class website where certain things were going to be hosted or something like that. So we can record and we can click around on our screen as normal. And as soon as we're done recording, we can go ahead and hit that pause button. You can do this in two ways. You can pause if you need to add more thoughts, in which case you could go ahead and click record again to start recording again to the end of what you've just recorded. Or if you've just recorded your video all in one take and you're the most amazing recorder of all time, you can go ahead and click done when you're happy with it, and it asks you what you want to do next. The editor that is built into Screencast-O-Matic, you do have access to a trial if you make the free account. However, it is not very good and it doesn't really let you do too much, so I wouldn't bother personally. But you do have the option to one-click upload to your Screencast-O-Matic and just send it. Or if you want to choose some options, you can click on the top one there, and it will bring you to this small little recording screen. I don't know why it's backwards. That's weird. But anyway, so you can see here where you can preview your video and it will go through your recording. You can make sure that everything's good there. If you've recorded stuff at the beginning or at the end that you don't want included in your final video, you can drag these little handles to trim. Like I mentioned, there is a small little background audio library that you can go in and add if you would like. I haven't experimented with those. I find for instructional videos or that sort of thing, it can be more distracting than anything else. You can also add captions. However, again, with the free version here, you're pretty limited to already having a caption file. However, depending on where you upload your video, certain programs have other options. So YouTube has built-in captioning. Microsoft, what is it? Not SharePoint, Microsoft Stream, I think it's called, has built-in captioning. So depending on whatever service you're using, you don't really need to mess with this, but captions are important no matter where you are going to upload it. Pardon that. So when you are all done checking out these settings and you don't need them anymore, it gives you three options for saving and exporting. So you can just save it as a video file. So that would do similar like we did with PowerPoint, where you can then just upload it wherever it needs to go, say Google Classroom. You can upload it to Screencast-O-Matic servers, which is where it would dump it here, like we were showing before. Or you can upload it directly to YouTube. So if you have a class YouTube channel, you can just link it here and then you can upload it right away. I have no idea why it shows the screen first, Stephanie. It hasn't done that to me before. So that's something I'd have to do some testing with. It might have been when I was messing around with the handles. Good question. I've never encountered that before. So that is a thing I would have to check out. Oh, no, you don't need a class YouTube channel. If you had a personal YouTube channel that you wanted to upload this to, you could absolutely. Or if you don't have a YouTube channel and you just want to, say, upload it to your Google Classroom or to what other LMS you're using, whether it's Canvas or Moodle or something like that, that's when you would just save it. Yeah, Google Slide, absolutely. You would just save it as a video file, and then you would go into that other site and upload it there. This last option I've never used because I tend to edit my videos. But yeah, saving it as a video file and just uploading it wherever you want to go. That's probably what most are going to want to do. So I'm going to pause there because I just threw a bunch of information at you. Are there any other questions on Screencast-O-Matic or PowerPoint for that matter? I'm going to delete that because I don't need to save it. Aside from the backwards thing, that'll have to troubleshoot because like I said, I've never seen that before. It might have been an option where I selected to mirror it when we were recording. So if you save it to Screencast-O-Matic, it would link to it. So it wouldn't give you the file. It would upload it automatically to Screencast-O-Matic servers, and then you would be able to share the link with your students. I haven't been able to experiment with what the file limitations are on Screencast-O-Matic servers in the free version. In documents, sorry, Trisha, what do you mean? Yeah, sure.
Sorry.
Yep.
So if it gives you the link, you could put it in a PDF document that the students can click on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Launch the video.
Yeah, exactly. So let's try to do that now. The downfall to this is I don't know if it's going to upload to the server in the time that we have left in this breakout room. I'm not sure how many of you have tried to upload videos before, but depending on your internet, it can take some time. And since I am streaming video and presentation to you now, it may not upload in time, but we can take a look and see. So let's do that. So we'll go here. It's still backwards. I think I messed up a setting because it wasn't backwards before. Well, let's try it. So yeah, it's going to upload to this account. I can change the title of it. I can decide whether or not I want my cursor highlighted, whether or not I want it searchable. So you may want to, for your purposes, not make it searchable, and that way people can't just stumble across it from searching something in Google. Okay, it's publishing pretty quickly. Now keep in mind this was what, a 10-second video, and it's still taking 30 seconds to upload. So if you're doing like a 10-minute video, it's going to go a little bit differently. So you can see here when you do publish to Screencast-O-Matic servers, you can share it a bunch of different ways. So you can share it via email, you can post to Facebook, you can share directly to your Google Classroom, which is nice. You can tweet it, and also it links with Google Teams. If not, there's a copy link here. We can click done to see what happens. Because I'm on the free, it's going to tell me that I should purchase the free, but I don't need that. Let's refresh our dashboard. So we can see the dashboard is here. I copied the link already, so I could just paste it and it would come up with a recording, and this is what it would look like. So if you copy that link and say, like Trisha was mentioning, put it in a PDF or something like that, this is what they would see. So they would get taken to the Screencast-O-Matic page. They shouldn't need an account, but to test that, we'll just do it incognito. Yeah, so they don't need an account to access it or anything like that. They would just get taken to this page here, and then they can just play your video directly in their browser. So you don't need to upload it anywhere else. If that's one more step that, in this instance, you just kind of can't deal with right now, you could just take the link and share it that way. Does that help, Jill? Perfect. Yeah, so there's a couple of different ways you can do that. I do like Screencast-O-Matic a lot better than PowerPoint. I think I mentioned that already, just because there's more flexibility in how you can do that. Embedded in these slides as well, I have included, yeah, please, Tracy. While Tracy's sharing with us, I'm just going to say in these slides, I have included a couple of slides that just kind of, again, point out points of interest when you're using both PowerPoint and Screencast-O-Matic. So you can use those as a reference, but I'm going to pass it over to Tracy, who created something she wants to share. I don't know if she's going to share her screen or just give us a link.
Hello.
Hey.
So I teach kindergarten, and my kids have been exposed to Chatterpix. So I thought it would be cute to take a picture of my new pup and set him up as a voice and just to send a message. So all our parents are on Remind, linked on Remind, and you can upload stuff from other sites. And so what it ended up doing was I recorded it and put it into a Google Doc, and then I was able to get it from my Google Drive and put it into the Remind and send it, as long as it had the shareable link. So that was something really simple, just to kind of play around with. I was excited actually that I was able to upload it from my Google Doc. And so now I'm thinking, if I do a quick video for my kids, I can just put it in to the Google Doc, into my Drive, and then upload it into, we each have our own site, our kindergarten site. Our team decided that we have our own group classroom to collaborate, but then we set up our Google Sites for our own classrooms, individual classrooms. We're a big team. We have 14 educators. So they felt it was easier for that. But yeah, just an idea. I was pretty excited that it was able to be viewed. Just make sure that you've got the shareable link, because I had it set for view for DDSB only. And so when I asked my partner to check to see if it worked, she's like, yeah, it's good. But then in the morning, when I sent it, a couple of my parents messaged me and said, oh, I can't open the link. And so then I just went back into my Google Drive got the share, like made it a share to those that have the link, and then it worked. So I was pretty pumped. Just thought I'd share that.
That is awesome, Tracy. Thank you. And yeah, you saw me open, when I did that demonstration, open an incognito window. And I do that with all of my links that we're going to test. You can do that in PowerPoint, or not PowerPoint, sorry. You can do that in Firefox. You can do that in Chrome. But if you open an incognito window, effectively what that does is it sort of, it's opening a fresh browser. So it doesn't have any of your logins saved. It doesn't have any of that. So if you are wanting to test a link to make sure it's shareable outside of your organization, that can be a really helpful way to do that. And I've had to do that for tons of stuff that we've done in the lab. But yeah, that is awesome, Tracy. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. That is one good practical application with my Google site. Yeah. Trisha, I'm not sure if there's a limit to how many videos you can save. I haven't been able to find a limit, and they don't tell you. They just give you a maximum file size. So yeah, I will have to get back to you on that, and I'll post something in the Padlet when I do some more research to see if I can find a concrete answer to that question, because I haven't thus far. But what we're going to do now is Laura wants to drag us back into the main meeting just so we can have a quick debrief. We didn't get to do any hands-on, unfortunately, because of how packed full of information this session was. But please, give this a shot. If you run into any problems, you have our Twitter handles, you have our information. We can help you troubleshoot. And I know for most of us, we're attached to the computer at all times. So I'm going to give you a link back to the main meeting. You may want to copy this, close out of this meeting altogether, and then paste that link before you join, so we don't have any audio issues that can happen. Like I said, these meetings will be recorded, and we're going to post them on our website probably in about a week. So you'll be able to see everything else and actually have time to go through everything and experiment and revisit. So please do that. Jill, if you still have it open and it's still working, yeah, try it. It should be okay. Thanks all for coming to this very brief meeting, and I'll see you back in that room.